minds, and we are trying to put them together to maximize the, not on the individual level, but on the group level, the result that they are creating over 10 weeks. And we saw in one group, actually there were two of the persons, they actually worked very well together. And the third person really, in some moments, in some tasks, they were working together, the three of them as a group. But then suddenly it became like the two of them were working together and the third person didn't participate. And then we, by interviewing them and asking them why this happened, and then the two of them said, this guy, he's not willing to share. He doesn't share his experience or his knowledge after the day, because they decided that every day they would sit down for like 20 minutes, half an hour, and share and to put down the result of the day and what's to be done for the next day. And the two of them, they said they were worked very well during this half hour. And the third one, he said, I can't contribute. I really want to leave the team because I cannot contribute. Okay, why can't you contribute? Because the two other guys, they're talking all the time. And definitely also, I have nothing to say during these 30 minutes. And then we asked him, when do you believe yourself that you have something to contribute with? I need to think about things a little bit more. I really need to process it. The day in the morning, the day after, I have all my ideas in the head. But then it's the next step. Then we're into the next step, working with the next task. So what we did was really to change that the 20 or 30 minute reflection or summing up the day, we moved it to the day after. And suddenly the results and definitely the effect on the next task was enormous, because suddenly there was a team of 3 of them. So it is very much also about managing and really to go into the individuals and how actually we are working, because we are different.
Thank you, Torben. Very good example and a perfect introduction to my next slide. Because they also looked at this in the study, and as you say, you need new blood, you need courage, but they also found that it's very different how you use the existing people in your group. And leaders who gave diverse voices equal airtime contributed to an innovating group. And that means exactly what you were talking about. How do we make sure that everybody can contribute? We are different. Some are extroverts and have very easy access to ideas and to presenting ideas. Some people, they need to think, analyze before they say something. So if you're a leader or if you're part of a group and you want to be sure that you use the resources, make sure that everyone gets airtime, that everyone are heard. If you're in a speak up culture, and that means, come on, tell me what you think, speak up, then you are much more likely to contribute to this potential of people. And that also requires courage. If you are a leader, if you lead a meeting, for example, to take the time to try to figure out what makes it comfortable for you and you to talk. And my last slide is some other behaviors that unlock innovation according to this study. And the first one is to create a safe climate for new ideas. Culture and climate are very sensitive things. I worked for an advertising and PR agency in Stockholm for a while. I worked in the PR department, but in the advertising department there were 23 people working when I started. And they had 2 creative directors. And you can hear from the titles that they were very creative, right? They had this position and they were not open to letting anyone else be creative. They wanted to have the creativity for themselves. And you know, it's really easy to kill other people's ideas. So what they did when they were in a meeting and someone else came up with an idea, they just looked at each other and raised an eyebrow. And they killed everything instantly. Have you seen this happen sometimes? When with very small gestures and facial expressions, you can kill something, a moment or ideas. And they did it very effectively. So what happens in an advertising agency with 23 people when only 2 people are allowed to be creative? After 2 years, there were 6 people employed there. From 23 to 6 people in 2 years. Not very good. So that's something you could work with actively here and when you get back to help each other to create a culture or an environment where ideas are encouraged and allowed. Another one is trust. They found that trust is very important, to trust people to make decisions, for example. If you are safe and if you feel that other people trust you, you can be fantastic, really creative, you can really contribute. And they also found that both giving and receiving feedback was very crucial to this innovative culture. Don't be afraid to tell each other what you think and receive feedback gracefully. Then you encourage an innovative process. So this was my last slide. I hope I have given you some input to the rest of the days here and to the future work you will do with the challenges that you define here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Caroline. Do we have any questions for Caroline? Not right now, maybe later on. And I see that this was, thank you very much, it was a really good presentation because I can see it. It's always challenging this hour just after lunch, the full bellies, no blood in the head or down in the belly. But still, I see you are still all awake and interested, listening, interesting. So that's thanks to Caroline for that. Let's have a 5-minute leg stretch. Okay, yeah.